Did you ever want to be just normal as an empath? Like the duality in this world, in particular where empaths are concerned, I think it's more intense. For instance, like wanting to be normal your whole life, but on the other hand, never wanted to be normal. Never ever did you want to be normal. Like the duality of the human experience, of the three-dimensional experience, I find as an empath to be super, super pronounced. And I know for me, all my life, I can remember it and at a visceral level, like just, God, I just wanted to be normal. I wanted to, I didn't want to have like these abilities that I had to feel people's feelings or feel people in general. Back then I didn't have words for it, but it was an energy thing that I was experiencing. Um, I, on the other hand, I was like, no, I don't want to be average. I don't want to be normal. And today, at 62 years old, I can say that I still have the same thing that I deal with in this dualistic world. And one of the ways that I have dealt with it certainly is what you find with most empaths. Like, let me check this out with you. Are you someone who's always known that this is being you in this world, in this day and age, in this lifetime, means you're on a journey and it's a healing journey? And are you just naturally drawn to all kinds of courses and classes and workshops and counselors and coaches and therapists and courses and counselors and workshops and it just goes on and on and on. This is what sort of like for empaths, I think it's what feeds us. It's like you need food to survive, right? We all need food to survive. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. You have to eat to survive. If you don't eat, your body is not going to keep going on in this lifetime. Well, for an empath, I believe that it's the same with growth and development, with courses, with support groups. Like a true blue empath will be doing that. And it may be delayed. There are exceptions, and I'll give you some exceptions that I believe were periods of times in my life where I was I would call it setback. And again, it still has to do with what empaths deal with. Getting in a relationship with someone who thinks that I'm quirky and weird, or just like too frou-frou, or like that, like, okay, she kind of flaky, she's all touchy-feely and whatever. And instead of encouraging and supporting and celebrating Kelly's quirky side, or really understanding that part of what they're attracted to, for me as an empath, is that I am super sensitive and have this other way of seeing life, that it causes them to feel very safe and very loved and very seen and cared for, because I have tons of empathy. But it doesn't get nourished. Instead, it's like, no, I am referring to, what all empaths deal with, I believe, which is getting in a relationship with a narcissist. It's like the classic combination. It's like if you go to Burger King or McDonald's or whatever, and you order one of their classic combos. That's kind of what it's like, a empath and a narcissist. Whoa, a classic combo. Yeah, woo. And it will bring you to your knees and cause you to go further into your healing process, but it might retard your healing process for a period of time, because the narcissist wants the good parts of you being an empath, not the parts that are inconvenient for them. So to really be able to see you and give to you what you give to them and support you with chasing your bliss and being true to yourself. No. Just keep all the attention coming, all that compassion coming. That's what they want. And so, yeah, so an empath might for a period of time, or may even never started your journey quite yet, because you haven't gotten completely set free from someone in your life that you're not being true to yourself around. And maybe you're addicted to that person, or you're addicted to the relationship in and of itself. You're codependent, whatever you want to call it. Sooner or later, if you're a true blue empath, you're going to be really clear that you're on a journey, and you're going to want and really like hunger for support, courses, new ways of seeing things and pursuing things, opening up possibilities. And these are the things that empaths thrive on, or possibility. And I want to do today, what I want to do is I want to talk a little bit about, I want to tell you a little bit about a story about what came up for me a few years ago, and a course that I took and what I got out of it. And then we're going to take that and we're going to bring that into our experiential exercise. And then after our experiential exercise, what we're going to do is, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you about one of the things I've got coming up that is another aspect of this channel and what I have to offer through my holistic health and healing channel. So I took a class, it was COVID, and I was watching a lot of YouTube, and I was watching nomad YouTubes, and I was really, really getting into it. I was learning a lot. It started out with tiny house. I think the first thing I did was I watched on Netflix, Tiny House Nation. And then that ended me up on YouTube, looking at people's tiny homes and seeing how they organize themselves. And it was COVID. And so I started taking all these great ideas for how to create a minimal environment that feels luxurious. So experientially, it's luxury, and yet it's not what the most of the world in this day and age considers luxury, because it's not big and expensive, but actually minimalist and luxurious. And I thought, oh, well, again, I don't fit into this world. I never have. And so the things that I'm drawn to, I think I was a minimalist before it was a thing. And in fact, not only was I a minimalist before it was a thing, but I was a minimalist when it was severely judged. It wasn't accepted or understood as it is now. No one could explain what was going on with me and why I liked a simplified life, and why I wasn't actually motivated or drawn to chasing success for my happiness. I've always known that money and prestige and accolades, I didn't say that right, accolades, wouldn't make me happy. And partly because I was raised around a lot of money, lots of money. So I saw that it doesn't make you happy. But also, I'm an empath. And it's like, I love stuff and I love luxury. But sitting in the middle of a beautiful day with sun underneath some trees, with a little bit of shade, with a little sun coming through and a breeze blowing on my face, that's luxury for me. And yes, I also love pretty clothes and pretty makeup and pretty flowers and a beautiful surrounding. But anyway, I digress. I went off on a rabbit trail there for a minute. The point I'm making is that I was held up. I was looking at these tiny houses. Then I went on YouTube and I started exploring it even more. Then I started going around my house, and I had all this time. It was the first month of COVID, and my business was totally shut down, and I just started reorganizing, got rid of things. I was dropping stuff off at Goodwill, along with so many other people that were doing that as well. And so then I stumbled into these nomad videos, and I was watching a nomad video. These people were all, living out of their cars, or mostly out of their cars. Maybe they might still have a home base, but long, long trips in cars or vans that actually served as a full home while they traveled. And I thought, oh God, that looks really like something I would like to do. And anyway, this one woman mentioned reevaluation counseling. I'm sorry. Okay, let me refocus. That's another thing about being an empath. Sometimes you have to just stop, take a breath, and refocus. Slow down. Okay, if you're still with me. Anywho, she said access consciousness. She was traveling around doing access consciousness workshops. And I'd been doing all this sort of consciousness work, and I'd been a part of 3 different consciousness movements, read tons of books, and oh gosh, all up in it. Like that was started in my mid-20s, actually. And so none of them were called what it is. They were all tools, techniques, technology for accessing consciousness. But they were called all these different kinds of names. This one just called it what it was, access consciousness. So I said, oh my God, I've got to find out what that is. So I went and I did a deep dive on their website, ended up in a class within a couple of weeks from that, and started buying all the books, reading, booking, YouTubing, got certified to teach it, and just dove really deep into it. And one of the things that I loved about Access Consciousness is that they distinguished a regular human being from what they called a humanoid, which I would call an empath. And at the time, I didn't have a word for that. I didn't understand that about myself, that I was actually my whole life living as an empath and dealing with being an empath in the world where it's more, the world is not accepting or not inviting or not encouraging or not understanding the way that this type of person sees things or experiences life, like just totally overlooked. So when they started distinguishing the difference between a human and a humanoid, I was like, oh my goodness, I could relate to everything. Everything. Like it was like they were telling my life story. They were explaining exactly how I experience life. And then that led to me understanding what I'd heard about, but I didn't ever put my fingers on. I didn't ever really contextualize it, which is, so I'm an empath. Okay, thank you. Anyway, there's a really great book that I highly recommend that is an Access Consciousness book called Being You, Changing the World. And it's such a good read. It's by Dr. Dane Here. I no longer teach Access Consciousness because I decided, I'm choosing, actually, it's more of a choice than a decision, that I want to put my time into my YouTube channel and the things that I'm creating for the world of all you lovely empaths. But a lot of what I'm teaching, actually, it comes from all the different courses that I've taken and gotten certified to lead in, which there's 4 main world movements that I've been a part of that were consciousness movements. And as a healer, as a massage therapist and a Reiki master already, before I even started doing this empath stuff, I've always told people on my table, my clients, to learn how to listen to your body like really listen to your body. So like I would have clients, and still to this day do, that say, how often should I get a treatment? And, I want to jump in there with my mind and give them the intellectual response to that. Well, research says, and what I found and my experience tells me that you need a massage, but I don't even go there. I start the training right away with them when they're a new client and they're asking me how often they should get a massage. I'm like, listen to your body. Listen to your body. Start listening to your body. And with being an empath and dealing with duality and really learning how to be empowered and to be in a world where you are not built to be a normal human being. You are built to be a healer, a healer. Most likely. I'm not God, so I can't say for sure that every empath is, and I mean, it's subjective. So who's gonna claim and say, no one outside of you is gonna say, you're definitely an empath. You're not gonna go and get tested and get your blood drawn and all of a sudden know, oh yeah, 100%, your blood type is empath. You're an empath. No, it's self-diagnosed. But the reason you'd want to self-diagnose is because if you are an empath, then you have certain things that I'll be talking on in the next couple of weeks more about. I want to talk about how to forgive yourself and how important it is for empaths to forgive themselves, because empaths will tend to blame themselves for everything. Like if you get in a fight with someone who's not an empath, they're more like, if they're just like normal, they're more likely to blame you and just scapegoat the living crap out of you and take no responsibility for their part. It's not unusual. And what is unusual is when people actually can both take responsibility for their parts in a relationship. But mostly, unfortunately, on this planet, still to this day, with humanity, it's a huge blame game. And so if you're an empath, you're usually going to first blame yourself. And then you might get tired of blaming yourself and beating up on yourself, and you might get resentful at the other person for not taking responsibility, and then do the thing that we do when we live in a duality universe, which is there's always two sides to every story. There's always two truths existing at the same time. So why not? I've taken the blame long enough. Why not blame them? But initially, empaths, and overall, in a more general sense, we blame ourselves. We need to really have good tools for ongoing self-forgiveness. And then another thing that is so important for empaths, if you live as in this lifetime as an empath, is to always be pursuing your truth. And the way to pursue your truth is to be able to listen to your soul. That's right. Listen to your soul. Now, how do you do that? And so in this meditation, this quick little experiential exercise, what we're going to do is give you a taste of that. And so the way that you listen to your soul is you bring your attention down into your body. Where does your attention live most of the time? Most of the time, your attention lives up in your head, in the mental space. And so you're disembodied. If you're a real mental person, it's almost like you don't have a body. I always know when I can meet someone like that, because I don't like if I meet someone and I say I'm a massage therapist and a Reiki master and have a healing holistic business in Houston, Texas, and they say, oh, I don't like massage. I really don't like anyone touching my body, or I don't like that. Then I know, oh gosh, I'm going to be dealing with right now. I'm speaking to someone who's going to seriously come from relating to the world and to me and to themselves from a very mental space, like they live in their heads. And that is such a limiting way to live. And I don't care if you're a human or a humanoid, an empath or not an empath, a normal person or an empath person, an abnormal person. Living in your head, you don't have to do that. And it's a sad thing to do, because you get so much information when you can balance your attention between your head and your body. And that really actually is three things. Once you bring your attention down into your body and integrate and get embodied, you are then integrated as body, mind, and soul. And so what we're going to do in this right now is taking a nice deep breath and bring your attention down into your body. And the way to do that, other than good breath work, breath is always helps to get your attention down in your body, but also using interest, because interest drives attention. Just like when you go to a really great movie and you feel like you're actually, it's almost meditative, because your attention is so in the movie that you get a break. So it's like a vacation from yourself. That's why people get so addicted to TV and stuff. And so, which is not healthy, by the way, but for an example, it's, most humans are dying to get our minds to quiet down, and it can lead to alcoholism and drug addiction and TV addiction, all kinds of addictions. Well, what if you could just get your attention integrated down into your body and take a vacation right here, right now, without doing any addictive behaviors, and listen to your soul so that you can become more and more confident in your truth as an empath. And so just get interested in your body. Get interested in what it's like to have your attention down in your body. Wiggle your toes. Take in a breath. Rub your hands together. Feel the friction in your hands. Then bring your hands down into your lap, face up, with the palms face up. Take in another nice deep breath. Notice how far down can you bring the breath? Down in your lower abdomen, maybe all the way down to your root chakra, which is, if you're sitting on your root chakra. Listen to your breath. Notice that it has a sound. Like, literally, you can't breathe silently. There is a sound. So listen to that sound. Then on the next inhale, notice that your rib cage expands when you breathe in. And when you're ready to exhale, notice that everything contracts when you exhale. Back down. Rib cage in. And again, inhale, notice your rib cage expanding. And exhale, notice everything contracts. And now bring your attention to your heart chakra. Put your hand on your chest right here. Then put your other hand on top of that hand. And with your intention, just notice that your hand is touching your body. Notice what it feels like. See if you feel the warmth of your hands. See if you feel skin. In fact, if you have a shirt on, you might want to slip your hand through your shirt to actually feel a little bit of skin. Not all, it doesn't have to be total, just a little, so that you can palpate into your body. Bring yourself into your body by noticing your body, by getting interested in your body. So now breathe in and notice your heart, your sternum, your chest expanding, rising when you breathe in. And then exhale when you're ready. And now bring your hands back down into your lap. Bring your attention down into your lower abdomen, so your sacral chakra. And I want you to just send some love to that information source right there. You have so much intuition and information. Men tend to call it gut instinct. Why? Because it literally, quite literally, is from your gut. So celebrate that you have this other intelligence, this other information source down in your lower abdomen. And if you have any body shame in that area of your body, just take a moment to release it at will, because you can. Release it just because you actually can. At least a layer of it, so that you can move further into your abdomen area with your attention without the shame. Release any and all body shame that's there for you right now. You can exhale it. So breathe in. Fresh new possibilities for being an empath, and exhale any stale, old, shameful energy. Any place where you've made yourself wrong about how you look or how you feel in your body. It is time to become best friends with your body. It is time to live your life embodied. It's time to be in your body so that you can learn more about yourself and your truth as an empath. And now bring your attention up to your solar plex chakra, which is right in between your rib cage. And take in a nice deep breath. And on this one, just exhale anything else that needs to be released that might block you from being comfortable in your body. And you might want to wiggle and squirm a little bit. If I could turn some music on and get you dancing, that's what I do right now. But I don't, I have to work on that. If I turn music on right now, then my video gets scrubbed. And I think I have to keep it under 30 seconds. So anyway, we can just, I think I want to dance now. Boom, 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 boom. Or ballet movements, but get in your body in a celebratory, joyful way. Like, know that in this moment, you are in your body and experiencing your body and yourself as your own best friend. Your own best friend. And now with that, just take a nice, deep breath of forgiveness. So breathe in all the places where other people have tried to make you wrong and where you've made yourself wrong. It's old, it's wore out, it's time to let it go. Just exhale and forgive yourself. As an empath, especially, free yourself up. We want to contact that creative energy, the visceral energy, so that you don't have to try and be normal anymore. And you can celebrate and find the power of being an empath in this world. And it does take a lot of ongoing forgiveness, for sure. And so with that, bring yourself back. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what I promised in the beginning, which is my expedition that I'm gearing up for. I've hit some frustration and some stops, but I'm turning my car into a camping car. And I'm going to start doing some expeditions and take you with me. I'm going to do some car camping on my YouTube channel, getting out in nature, and also just exploring what it means to do things that are out of my comfort zone and really invite change. Because I think as empaths, one of the things that's really important is that we get in nature. And I used to get in nature a lot more than I have in the past few years. I moved into the city in Houston. Like I lived kind of in the suburbs when I was raising my kids, and I helped one of my sons wanted to live at home and finish college, and he was working full time, and he was taking his time getting out of college. So I kept a house open in the suburbs for a while for him. And then finally I was like, okay, I'm moving into town and I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to enjoy just being right all up in the big city, you know. And Houston really started to grow, and it was just exciting to me. I like the energy. The energy pulled me in. And I figured, you know, before I get too old, I want to live up in the middle of the city. And I did that, and it's been fun. But now I'm craving to get out in nature more. And a lot of it is because I'm following my empath journey. And I'm doing something that is going to create a lot of change, where, again, living in a dualistic world that empaths live in is very pronounced, I feel. And so one of the things that we want to do as dualistic beings is we want to thrive on stability and routine and consistency. And at the same time, if you're an empath, you crave change and growth. And so it's a push-pull thing, being an empath, the duality of it all. It's like, well, I really got a little bit too used to all of the cushiness that I got my life down to oh yes, I've got everything just perfect and consistent. And then it's like, but now I'm going to need to do a little change. And so, oh boy, I'll tell you. So anyway, I'm making a big, huge change. And so probably next week, I'm going to talk about change and resisting change as an empath, and get us down in our bodies so that we can invite change and handle that energetic shift. Because again, if you're an empath, everything you feel it probably, I mean, I don't know for sure, like no one's going to say because you can't measure this stuff, but I want to say that a normal person, you might feel it about 5 times stronger, maybe 10 times stronger, maybe 20 times stronger. I don't know. But all I know is that everything is more intensified for empaths because we feel more intensely. We are more energetically in tune. And so stay tuned, because next I think I will be giving you a tour of my car. And as I said, I've had a few setbacks with things that I've ordered to set my car up to get it ready for its first camping trip with my dogs. And but I'm going to give you a tour and show you what I've done. So that's coming up very near. I'm waiting for my bed, for my camping bed right now. It should be shipped to me this week. I got one, I had to send it back and blah, 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 yada, 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 deal with that, and I had frustrating. It got pretty frustrating there for a minute, but I've been collecting all kinds of things to do this and have started really creating a cool car camping experience. Okay, so I hope that you have a wonderful week, and just remember to drop your attention down into your body. Where's your attention most of the time? Your attention most of the time is in your head. That's how we are oriented in this modern day and age, is to be very much up in the thinking mind. People think that it's all about being smart. And I'm going to tell you right now that being smart, some of the smartest people I've met, and I'm not going to talk about politics right now, but there's one person in particular that supposedly is really, really smart. And he's also supposedly the richest man in the world. And he's making some of the stupidest choices of anybody. So being smart and paying attention only to this intelligence and thinking that this is really who you are is what's going on up in your head is missing. You're just going to be missing so much. And especially if you're an empath, it's not normal for empaths. What's normal for us is to be integrated, body, mind, and soul. So you may have gotten off on the wrong foot, or you may be like me, who's someone who's experienced being embodied for many, many years and still have to practice it because the propensity in our society, the messaging in our society is to be living up in your head and thinking that what's going on right here in between these ears is what's real and is who you are. But I'm telling you, who you truly be in the world comes more from an embodied space, way more. It's when you can silence this thing. And if you get down in your body, you will notice that your mind will slow down and eventually cooperate. And you will be craving to get in your body every time you catch yourself. I'm way up in my head now. You'll be like, oh, I got to get down in my body, back to my body. So for some of you, I'm reminding you and supporting you with it. And for some of you, it's maybe the first time you've ever really heard this concept. And then there's everyone in between, somewhere on the scale. So with that, I leave you with lots of love and compassion. Bye for now. Mwah.